In this video, we're going to go ahead and do permutations and combinations number 2. Now, permutations and combinations number 2 is a mixture of permutations and combinations, obviously, as well as mean, median, mode, some probability stuff thrown in here. So this worksheet is a good review before your test. So let's go ahead and start. It says a retailer's website allows shoppers to customize shoes they order. Customers may select from one of 3 different colors. So they have 3 colors they can pick from. One of 2 types of laces, and I'm sorry, that got cut off with the hole punch, but those are laces. And then they can choose one of 8 special logos. Now, to solve how many combinations are possible, you don't need a permutation or combination. You would use permutation and combination if everything was coming from the same set. So in this case, these values, they are coming from different sets. So I'm not going to use permutation combination. I'm going to use what's called the multiplication rule. I'm going to multiply my options for color times how many options for laces times how many options for logos. And I get 48 total different combinations. So anytime you are pulling items from different groups and combining them, you just multiply all your options together. Permutations and combinations, those are used if you are pulling items from the same set. For example, number 2, how many different arrangements of the letters A, D, G, and F are possible? We are pulling from a set group, a singular group, and we are arranging these letters. So this is a permutation. We have 4 letters to choose from, and we are going to keep all 4 letters in our answer. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my calculator. So I'm going to go into probability, press math, over to probability, option 2. Remember, if you have an older version of the calculator, you'll have to put the N value first and then R. So there are 24 different combinations. Notice how this is coming from a single group, whereas number 1 was coming from a bunch of different groups. That's the main difference between multiplying them all together and permutation and combination. Number 3, in a game, a complete set of cards consists of 1 situational card, 1 power card, and 1 level card. If Blake holds 5 situational cards, so 5 situational, 4 power cards, and 10 level cards, how many different ways can he have a set of 3? So in these kinds of problems, again, different card groups. They're not all just a set of cards. They are different types of cards. So in order to find out how many combinations he can have or how many different sets, he would just multiply all of these values together, which would be 200 different types of cards in hand. Notice the difference. Same set, permutation or combination. Multiple sets, multiply them all together. So multiple sets, multiply together. Number 4, to earn a commission for a work week, Monday through Friday, a salesperson has to average $250 for a daily average. So here's a key, average. So remember how to find averages. He has to make at least $250 or more a week. On Monday through Thursday, he made $98 plus $255 plus $175 plus $320. We want to know how much he has to make on his final day. So I'm going to put an X up here. It's kind of like those problems where we did quiz averages and things like that. Same idea. So 5 work days. So 5 goes on the bottom. So when I add all my numbers together up top, I'm going to get 848 plus the unknown day over 5 must equal 250. You could do guess and check. A lot of people like guess and check, but if you're more algebraic, I'm showing you the algebraic way that works every time. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. So I get 848 plus X equals 1250. Subtracting 848, I get 402. So he must make $402 on Friday in order to earn his commission he must make. So again, you could calculate this, add it together, and just kind of simplify, like take your answer choices and plug it in and see if you get 250, or you can build an equation. Number 5, a governing committee has 3 So there's 3 people on this governing committee, and you pick out of 30 people. The committee consists of a president, treasurer, and vice president in that order. Only one person may be selected for any given positions. Which one would represent this? So this is a permutation because I have president, treasurer, and vice president. Those are different level and status, so we have to use a permutation. We have 30 people to pick from, but I can only choose 3. So P3 or 30P3. Let me go ahead and do that in the calculator. Some math over to probability. Option 2, 30P3, 24,360 different ways. None of those are answer choices. However, you could take all of these answer choices and solve them all out, and you would see that option D is the correct answer. Or you could think about it another way. President, treasurer, vice president. How many people could potentially be chosen for president? Well, we start at 30, so I have 30 people who could be president. Well, once you become president, you can't become treasurer. So now only 29 people could be treasurer. And if you're one of these 2, you can't be VP. So 28 people could be VP, which means if I multiply those all together, I would get my permutation. So if you're doing permutation, the presentation might be a little bit different, but if you multiply all your answer choices out, you will see that the correct answer is D. Number 6, let me zoom on up here. How many distinct arrangements of 4 letters are possible? So distinct arrangements means different arrangements, so that's permutation. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters to choose from, and I am picking 4. So this is 5P4 for 120. So there are 120 different distinct arrangements. Remember, if it's an order, the order matters. So I'm using distinct, and I'm using permutation. Number 7, on an exam, students must select 1 short answer question and 1 essay question. The exam has 5 short answers. So 5 short answer and 3 essay. Again, different groups, which means I multiply. So 5 times 3 is 15. So there are 15 different ways that you can complete these questions. Number 8, if the probability of event A occurring is 0.4 and the probability of point B occurring is 0.2, which of the following probabilities is greater than 0.5? Assume that A and B can't happen at the same time. So here's the thing about probability. It will always add up to 1. So if I want the probability of event A not happening, I would erase or subtract that probability. So 1 minus 0.4 equals 0.6, and 0.6 is greater than 0.5. So option number 1 is true. Number 2, the probability of event B not occurring. So I'm going to subtract the probability of event B. So what I'm left with is not B. So 0.8 is greater than 0.5. That is true. So number 2 is also true. And the final one, the probability of either event A or event B occurring. So remember, or means plus. Event A's probability is 0.4 and event B's probability is 0.2. When I add those together, I get 0.6, and that is in fact greater than 0.5. So the correct answer is E. All of those probabilities are greater than 0.5. Remember, probability must always add up to 1, and you'll have to utilize that every now and then. Number 9, I think, is a little tricky. It is not a permutation or combination. It's a multiplication rule. So it says how many 3-digit numbers have an odd number in the tens digit? What I would just do is think about this question. So a 3-digit number, the tens digit is the one in the middle. So let's think of what kind of numbers could be in the 1 spot. Well, I could have 0 all the way to 9. I can't have a 2-digit number in a single-digit spot. So 0 to 9, that is a total of 10 different numbers. In this spot, in the hundreds, I have to start at 1 and go to 9. I can't put a 0 in the hundreds. So I have 9 different options for the hundreds. However, for the tens, it has to be an odd number. So my only odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 for a total of 5 different options. What Well, to calculate how many numbers I could create, I'm going to multiply all my numbers together. So 9 times 5 is 45, times 10 is 450. So there are 450 different numbers that would have an odd number in the 10 spot. Number 10, if the probability of selecting a gray hat from a bin containing gray and black hats is X, which of the following is 1 minus X? So in this problem, it says probability of picking a gray hat is X. So gray means X. Well, there are only black and gray together. So black hats plus gray hats must equal 1. And we know that gray hats equals X. So if I bring everything down and subtract X, black hats equals 1 minus X. What's left is how many black hats. So if we're looking for the value of 1 minus X, those are the value of the probability of selecting a single black hat. Because the probabilities have to add up to 1, and there are only 2 options. Black probability plus gray probability has to equal 1. So just kind of setting up an equation and thinking about that will help you. All right, next one, number 12. Roger is a baseball player who gets a hit about 1/3 of the time he goes to bat. I don't know if that's a very good statistic. And it says, okay, 1/3. Assuming he had no walks, how many outs did he make? Well, 1/3 is how many hits he had. So if he didn't hit it, he was out. So 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 3/3. So 2/3 of the time he hit out, I guess. So we have a total of 636 times. Well, we want to know what 2/3 of the time is. So 236 times 2/3 is 424. So he got out 424 times. I'm not big on baseball statistics, but I don't think that that's very good. All right, next. This problem takes a little bit of time. So I'm going to kind of work some of it out on a Post-it underneath because I don't want to get into this next problem. So it says the average height of 5 basketball players is 6 feet 2 inches. If 4 of those players have a height and it lists the height, how tall is the 5th player? Here's the thing. When you do problems like this, we're working with 5 people. You can't compare these until you change the feet to inches because putting 6.2 down is not the same as 6 feet 2 inches. So the thing you have to remember is that 12 inches equals 1 foot. So to convert something to inches, I'm going to do 6 times 12 plus 2, which is 74 inches. So you have to first convert, sorry, I could not think of the word. You have to convert all of the heights to inches first. So let's continue. 5 times 12 is 60 plus 8 is 68. 6 times 12 is just 60. So 6 times 12 is 60 plus 5 is, oh, I am so sorry. 6 times 12 is not 60. I'm silly. 6 times 12 is 72. I was thinking of 6 times 5. I'm sorry. And then 6 times 12 plus 5 is 77. Plus 6 times 12 plus 6 is 78. Plus some random person. Sorry about that. I don't have my whiteout handy or I would white that out for you. Okay, now what we're going to do is solve for x. So I'm going to add the numerator. Remember, this is all in inches. So I get 295 plus x over 5 equals 74. I might be able to have a little room. We'll kind of work it in the side. Multiply both sides by 5. So 295 plus x equals 370. When I subtract 295, I get 75. Well, 75 is not an answer choice. So what I would do is say, okay, I can either convert all these answers to 75 or I can use algebra. It's up to you. So if I'm using algebra, I would take 75 and divide it by 12. Well, 12 goes into 75 6 times with the remainder of 3. So it's 6 feet, 3 inches. Or you could just say, okay, 6 times 12 is 72 plus 3 is 75. So you could also just convert all your answer choices to inches, but you can't just put decimals. Like for right here, for 6 feet, 5 inches, I can't just put 6.5. That's not the same decimal. You have to convert it first. All right, number 14. There are 6 blue, 8 green, 5 red, and 10 yellow marbles. What is the probability that it will be green or red? The key here is or, so which means I'm adding. So green marbles, that would be 8 out of, I'm going to go ahead and add everything up. So 6 plus 8 plus 5 plus 10 is 29. Plus the probability of red, which is 5. Denominator will stay 29. 8 plus 5 is 13. I don't know what number I was writing there. So 8 plus 5 is 13. So it is 13 over 29. All right. What is the probability? The probability of an event occurring is 21%. What is the probability of it not occurring? Well, remember, probability adds up to 1 or 100%. Well, 100 minus 21 is 79. So if it has a 21% of happening, there is a 79% chance that it doesn't happen. Probability adds up to 1 or 100. In a standard deck of cards, there are 13 cards with hearts, 13 with spades, 13 with diamonds, and 13 with clubs. If one random card is chosen from the deck, what is the probability it will be heart or diamond? Heart or diamond. So there are a total of 52 cards. If you add all those together, there are 13 heart cards plus the potential of 13 diamond cards. 13 plus 13 is 26. And 26 divided by 52 is 1/2. So you have probability half of picking a heart or a diamond. Always remember to reduce your probabilities. Number 17, the video store rented 42 videotapes on Monday, 35 on Tuesday, and 51 on Wednesday, and 32 on Thursday. What is the average number of Monday through Thursday? So this is just a basic average. So I'm just going to take my numbers. So 42 plus 35 plus 51 plus 32 all over 4. And when I average those together, we get 40. So they average 40 rentals a day. This is the time before Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus. This is blockbuster days. So they rented 40 videos average per day. 18, in the tournament, the Tigers scored 44, 56, and 47 points in the first 3 games. If their average was 52, how much did they score in the final? Same idea. So 44 plus 56 plus 47 plus our unknown game. So they played a total of 4 games. Their average has to be 52. Multiply both sides by 4 and add the top. So 147 plus x equals 208. Subtract 147 and I get 61. So they scored 61 points in their final game to have an average of 52 points. Number 19, if you purchase 6 tickets for a raffle and 51 are sold, what is the probability of you winning? Well, there are a total of 51 tickets. You bought 6 of them. If you reduce 6 over 51, you get 2 out of 17. So you have a 2 out of 17 chance of winning. Remember, when you're reducing these fractions, if you don't know how to do it, you can just put it in your calculator. Like if you don't recognize that that can simplify, just change it to a decimal and put it back to a fraction. It will automatically reduce it for you. And number 20, Betsy's softball team won 47 games and lost 15, and they tied none. They tied no. That did not make sense. What fractional part of the games did the team win? okay? They won 47. However, you have to put the total. They won 47 and they lost 15. So remember, you have to count the loss in there. So this becomes 47 over 62, which is option E. Remember, you have to count how many games they lost in order to calculate the correct probability.